Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be my 1 month on keto. I'm still not sure what I'm going to call this video, but basically I wanted to give you guys an update on what has happened during this month. I restarted keto on December 26th, the day after Christmas. And today is January 26th, so I wanted to go ahead and do a 1 month update, keto update for you guys, just letting you know what my total weight loss was, what were pros, cons, what I felt like, that sort of thing. Some tips that I kind of helped me go through the month, and then projecting like what I'm going to do next month or what I'm going to focus on, that sort of thing. So if you are new to keto, I will link my video down below of how I lost 30 pounds or whatever. But to give you kind of a brief history on my weight loss journey, that sort of thing. When I've always been consistently around 150 pounds. I've had 2 kids. Obviously my weight went up when I was pregnant, but for the most part, 150 pounds is a very healthy weight on me. I don't feel like I'm very, very skinny, but I also am not overweight. I'm just kind of like, that's a very comfortable weight and easy weight for me to maintain. 3 years ago, my husband's job he was essentially getting laid off, a lot of stress, and we ended up deciding that we were going to move our family from Florida to Texas, which was probably the most stressful thing in my whole entire life. I have 2 kids, I had a job, that sort of thing. Literally knew nobody in Texas and moved here. And during that time, while we're going through this whole layoff thing and relocation, up to the time I came here, my weight went up. I was drinking a lot more, obviously, because I was more stressed out. But I went from 150 pounds to 173 pounds. And 173 pounds on my body type is heavy for me. And it was the highest weight that I had ever been, even with being pregnant. And I was like, I can't do this. So when we moved here to Texas, I was like, I have got to get this under control because it is spiraling out of control. And I can see myself hitting 200 pounds, no problem. So I came across keto and decided that I was going to do it. So I ended up going down to 140 pounds. So I lost a total of 33 pounds. And I felt great. I was more energized. I went from a size 14 down to a size 6. I was very, very happy. And I maintained it up until about 6 months ago, when I had another kind of stressful thing happen in my life. And honestly and truly, I just got to the point where I just wasn't, everything's a relationship. You got your relationship with your kids, your parents, your husband, stuff like that. And then you have your relationship with yourself. And to be honest with you, I wasn't focused on the relationship with me. I wasn't practicing self-care, and I just kind of let myself go, essentially. I had a lot of stress, and I was just like, whatever, I'm just not going to focus on it. And so I stopped keto. And I currently weighed myself on 12/26. I was 163 and a half pounds. And I was like, I can't do that like that. I'm going right back to where I was before. So decided to get back on keto. So that is it. To tell you a little bit about my body type, I'm a pear. There, I said it. No, I'm a pear. I'm not an apple. I do not gain weight up here. My waist is relatively small, especially in comparison to the rest of my body. I do have big hips, a big butt, big thighs. Think Jennifer Lopez with 50 pounds on her. Maybe not 50, maybe 30. I don't know. But that's the body type. Think Beyonce. That's, Beyonce without the personal trainer. That's my body type. So that is what I'm dealing with. It is very difficult for my body type to lose fat, because once it gets to your hips and thighs is very, very difficult. So, but the keto has been very successful, and so I wanted to jump back onto it again, not only for the weight loss, but also for the way I felt. I feel it's a very anti-inflammatory diet, and we'll go into that a little bit. So that is that. So first off, let me tell you what my results are after a month. So after a full month of doing keto, I have lost 5.5 pounds, which a lot of people will be like, okay, that's not that much. And honestly, when I woke up this morning and I was gonna do this video, I was like, well, I know slow and steady wins the race, and everybody says don't worry about, dramatic weight loss because it's not sustainable, all that stuff. But 5.5 pounds just doesn't sound like a lot. But I also measured myself, and that's when I was like, hallelujah, that is where I saw the results. So though I haven't had a significant weight loss, 5.5 pounds, even though that is awesome for a month, I'm not discrediting that. I think that's awesome. But it's my mental status still isn't, you know, I'm healing my body. I'm still working on my mind. But I lost 5.5 pounds, but I ended up losing 2 inches in my waist. So I measure my waist where right under my belly button is where my little mommy pouch is. You know, that cute little pouch. It's not so cute, but that's where it is. So I usually measure about 2 inches below my belly button because that's where it's the widest. So even though I am pretty skinny up around my rib cage, I measure it right where my little mommy pooch is. So I lost 2 inches around my little mommy pooch area, which is awesome. And I had noticed, that's the first thing that I noticed. But I noticed when I was wearing my jeans, you know, my pants and stuff like that, there was less of a little bulge sticking out, the little muffin top and stuff. When I first started, during holiday times and stuff like that, I had to put away my pants. I had one pair of slacks and one pair of jeans that actually fit me because everything else did not fit me. So I haven't tried on my stuff yet because I'm a little nervous, but I'll have to do an update for you guys and let you know if I fit into any of my old clothes. So as far as my saddlebags, I lost 3 inches. Now people will be like, what the heck is a saddlebag? My saddlebags are under my hips. It's like where my butt is, and then, you know, you got your waist, and then you got your hips, and then I've got these little bulges. These bulges. I hate them. My husband loves them. I don't know. I mean, whatever. It's, you know, obviously marry a man who loves your body. He loves the worst part of my body in my opinion, but that's a different story. But I lost 3 inches around there, which is awesome. I'm pretty sure I can fit my jeans now, but again, I'm a little nervous. And then I measure around my thigh. I lost a 1/2 inch around my thigh. And then my hips, where I actually, you know, like right around my hips area, I ended up losing 2 inches. So that is big. Those are numbers that you can't, like the scale, even though I was disappointed this morning because I was like, it's only 5.5 pounds. And you know, this month was hard. Whenever you start things, it's hard. And it's hard to maintain them. So I just felt like I was really struggling. But when I measured myself, I was like, okay, there you go. Like there's no, when you actually start seeing results and feeling results, and when you know, wrap the measuring tape around you and it's smaller than what it was before, it's like, yes, now that's finally, that is what I'm in for. So had a really, really successful month. I'm very, very happy with the results. Couple things that I want to give a tidbit of what I've noticed, you know, during this month, just if you are starting keto or you just started keto, some things to keep an eye out for. So I ended up doing no dairy. So obviously I try to keep my net carbs under 20 every single day. That is what I normally try to do. Obviously cutting out carbs and sugar, you know, doing only stevia and those type of things, but not actually doing sugar cane because it has carbs. But I also cut out soda, I cut out dairy, and I cut out alcohol. Now I did have a couple times where I did have a couple alcoholic beverages. The other thing that I noticed is I don't even crave, like I used to crave a glass of wine after work. Like I would have a bad day and I would just be like, I didn't want to come home and have a glass of wine. I don't crave it anymore. I don't see a commercial with somebody pouring a glass of wine and go, ooh, that sounds so good. I don't even, there's just not a desire like that. So that has changed for me. So one thing that I have noticed, so when before Christmas or whatever, and I probably should have taken a picture or a video, but I could not do this with my finger. Like it was literally like this. That's what I would do. But this slides in and out. I can actually, when I first wake up anyways, I can actually fling my, my wedding ring off my hand. My husband doesn't particularly like when I do that, but you can see it just sits there and dwindles. Like that's not normal. That's just, I haven't changed my ring size. My little fat finger has slimmed down. So it's kind of annoying, but that is the benefit. That's the biggest thing I can tell you about anti-inflammatory. Like you see it, you feel it everywhere, but then you notice it in small things like that. Additionally, I have actually gone down a half size in shoes. So I was pushing like size 8, and I was like, how can your feet actually, like, is it even possible for your feet to grow bigger? But I was like, could not fit in my 7.5. So I'm like, what's wrong? Because my feet didn't look swollen, but now I don't fit in my 8s. My 8s are all loosey-goosey and my 7.5s fit. So I'm like, so I lost a half of a size in my shoes. Crazy. But some of the recommendations, one thing that I would recommend is trying to do the no dairy. But I will be honest with you, even though I didn't crave cheese or milk or anything like that, it does make it more challenging when you're trying to plan out your meals, because a lot of the keto meals are cheese-based. I like to do casseroles because it's easy. I can do a big casserole and I can section it off, and there's my meal planning. Well, a lot of casseroles have cheese in it. I mean, that's just what makes a casserole, in my opinion, my humble opinion. But I couldn't do that. So I really had to be creative, and it honestly added another element of stress to it, because I was like, oh, I can't have that because it's got cheese. Oh, I can't have that because it has cheese. Or I can't have that because it's, like finding desserts. I personally like doing ricotta cheese, putting a little bit of stevia in it and then a little bit of vanilla extract, and it just is enough sweetness and it's very low carb that it's nice. I've been ODing on Jell-O. I like Jell-O, but I can't have Jell-O with whipped cream because whipped cream has dairy in it. So it's like those weird little things. That is the one thing that I'm looking forward to. This going into month 2, I'm going to introduce cheese back, or dairy products back, just from the simple standpoint of it's very easy. It's an easy snack. I'll usually buy cheese sticks, and if I get hungry or my dinner's just not, sticking to my ribs as much as I'd like, then I'll grab a cheese stick. 0 carbs, I'm good. So just from the ease of planning and adding more variety into my diet, that's what I'm going to do. But otherwise, it wasn't too difficultly hard. I did not crave it at all. There wasn't a time where I'm like, oh yeah, cheese. I mean, it wasn't anything like that. Honestly, I really haven't been craving anything this month. I craved grapes the other day, but then I just drank a lot of water and that craving went away. So I don't know if it was like I was dehydrated or, because grapes are just juicy and they are very water based or whatever. So I was craving that. The other thing that I have done, or that I've noticed this month, is body odor and bad breath. So one thing with when you go into ketosis, a lot of people say that you have like sweet breath. I don't personally notice it, but sometimes I do, and I'm like, So I keep gum with me all the time. I'll do sugar-free gum, and just every time I feel like kind of weird in my mouth, I'm like, probably got bad breath. So just think of that, just be cognizant of that. I don't know. I mean, bad breath, it is what it is. The other thing that I notice is body odor. So for whatever reason, when I do my research, nobody really talks about it. They talk about like an ammonia scent, but mine's like straight up BO. Like I smell like a teenage boy. It's disgusting. And I used to, prior to doing keto, I used to do CrossFit, and you sweat like a freaking beast. And I would be drenched in sweat, and I never smelled like BO. Like, it's just not natural for me to smell like BO. That's just not it. But every time last time when I did keto, and even now when I'm restarting it, I got bad BO. Like, it's just under my armpits. I smell like a teenage boy. But what I've been doing is I just keep, this is the Kapari coconut oil deodorant. This has no aluminum in it. It's non-sticky. It hydrates your underarms. I didn't know that I needed hydration under my underarms, but hey, I guess everybody does. It smells like powdery. It's not an overwhelming scent. It's not greasy or goopy or anything like that, but it really, really does a good job of dealing with the BO. I also have a small travel size version that I keep in my purse because I gotta freshen up during the day. But this really does knock it out. But that is the one thing that I've noticed. So some tips I can give is drink a lot of water, get some magnesium. There's like slow mag that you can get that you can put in your drink. I forgot to bring it in my bathroom to show you guys, but it's a magnesium drink. It's actually really good. I get the raspberry lemon flavor, and it's pretty good. I also have been doing sleepy time tea at night because it's been cold outside, and I don't know, just a warm cup of tea sounds good. So I've been doing that, just nothing in it, just straight tea bag. I also have been doing coffee every morning. I do the Vital Proteins collagen. I'll put a scoop of that in, and then I just do a little squirt of MCT oil. So one thing about MCT oil is you really, really, really need to work your way up. Do not think that you can put like a whole bunch in your coffee, because I can tell you from personal experience, you are going to want to die. The bathroom will be your best friend until you get all that MCT oil out of your body, and it will be a nightmare. And it will even further complicate it if you're at work. So take it from me, don't put too much MCT oil in your coffee. Start off very slowly and then slowly work your way up. And if you accidentally put too much in it, pour it out and start over. Just trust me on this. That is it. That's all I have. I'm going to do, next month, what I'm going to focus on, I am going to introduce dairy back into my life because it just makes planning easier. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to be a little bit more strict on counting my carbs. I've been kind of guesstimating and keeping a rough estimate, but I really want to sit down and plan. It is so much easier when you know exactly what you're going to eat, because sometimes I crave certain things, but if I plan it out and I know, okay, I'm eating this, it makes it a heck of a lot easier. So I'm going to try to get a little bit better with my planning, get a little bit better with my keeping track of my carbs to make sure that I am in over or under 20 net carbs. The other thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be downgrading the amount of nuts that I've been eating. Nuts can get out of control very easily, and I think that because I have been eating cheese, it's like nuts have replaced my cheese. Because normally, sometimes I'm hungry before I go to bed, not starving, but just have that little bit of hunger feeling. So I will go grab a little cheese stick and eat it. I've been doing that with nuts, and it's just not good. It's just, you can overdo nuts very, very quickly. So I'm going to decrease my nut intake. I'm going to decrease my nut intake and then add some dairy back in. The other thing that I'm going to do this month is focus on finding a really good fish oil supplement. I am not a fish person. I was going to try to get some mackerel and canned tuna. Canned tuna is fine, but canned salmon to add a little bit more omega-3s into my diet. But I know that there's just, I'm not a big fish person. So I'm going to try to find a really good fish oil supplement where I can get those omega-3s and not have to eat so much fish. So that is what I'm going to do next month. Stay tuned for month 2 in a month for an update, and let me know if you have any questions down below. Until my next video, bye.